Good morning, everyone. So, I'm going to take your weekly current affairs, and my name is CA Sonali Jindal. I'm CA by profession, and I'm going to teach you current affairs by this basically same formula that I used to take in the GS. I will stick to the basically exam demand. I'm not here journalist, so we will not discuss irrelevant things that you generally find in the news channels. So we will stick to the demand of the exam. So I will show you how the particular news is linked to your syllabus. Secondly, I will show you how in the past it has been asked in the prelims exam and the mains exam. Right now, at your stage, maybe the view of your opinion is not as much required because you're not going to appear for the interview. In the interview, they used to talk about the basically the news that is 2 or 3 months older. So we will definitely stick to the prelims and mains demand. But yes, there are some topics for that they are continued because in the current affairs, maybe it's new for you, but as in this field, in last 6 7 years, what I have seen is everything is old. It just the news phase changes clearly. So even you must know that how in the last 6 months nothing new has happened. Actually, the issues are existing since 20 years. It's just you to feel it new. Clear? So in the UPSC, I don't want to use the word even current affairs. It should be contemporary affairs. Clear? Anyways, it's a established term, current affairs. So let's stick to that. Weekly current affairs. So I will show you which were the topics that were important in the last week. So I feel these 5 topics that were important in the last week and the same. I will stick to the exam demand. Clear? So Delhi air quality. There has been a numerous articles in the newspaper. You must have read at least one. Even you have not even read it, don't you think it's not a new one? It stays in the news, and moreover, we experience more articles in the times of the winter because it's basically supplemented by lots of factors. Let's see. What do you basically? What do you think about the causes of the air pollution? Doesn't matter whether it's Delhi or any other city. Let's see syllabus first. In JS3, environment pollution and degradation. If it's written in your syllabus, what do you think? What kind of pollution they can ask? Air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, land pollution, even noise pollution. But what question they will ask, it will be dependent on the what's in the news more, on which the international institutions are focusing more. It's not like if they are asking the air pollution, it's just due to the current affairs. It has been mentioned in your syllabus. The next part is GS1 urbanization because Delhi is an urban city. So in that also you need to talk about what are the even what your syllabus says urbanization and its issues. So you should understand why it is related to the urban city. We will come to that, but let's see. What do you think? And again, whenever you are going to read an article for which you have some knowledge, firstly think yourself like, what do you know about this already? After that, read an article. Then you will find that there are only 1 2 points new. Let's see. Causes, anybody can say. Again, stubble burning. Sorry. Yes. Yes, online students can also comment. Yes, right now, air pollution. Think. Yes, basically the Diwali pollutions. Oh, okay. It's a geographical term. What is western disturbances? So basically, the wind is blowing from the west to east. So basically, it's coming from the West Asia to this side. The thing is, at its parties passes through the ocean, so it is carrying the water. So what happens is in the winter we have a rainfall due to the western disturbances. But that even helps to reduce the pollution, I guess, by rainfall. So western disturbances can be the cause of the rainfall in the winter, and that is even required for the wheat production. I hope you know that there are two types of the crops, Kharif and Rabi. And even if somebody has said the stubble burning, it means which crop is burnt in this? Rice. So rice is a Kharif or Rabi crop. Clear? So you should also know this. Yes. Good morning, Anuj. Anuj, I have just started about the Delhi air pollution. I was discussing, what do you think? What are the causes for the air pollution? Not specifically to Delhi as such, but any other city you can talk about. Now, these dust particles can be because of the construction sector. And that's why in the Delhi, mostly whenever there is a grab 1, 2, 3, 4, they basically change the time of the construction activities. They also asked to cover the that construction material because these dust particles create the pollution. Think. Yes. Now, can anybody explain the difference between the global warming and pollution? Although you have touched the right point that the carbon dioxide is not considered in the pollution as such, but the thing is, what is global warming? The greenhouse gases that is basically trapping the heat. It's what a global warming. The people keep on writing this stuff also in the air pollution. What is air pollution? It's linked to the basically the particles, whatever in the air that is creating the pollution. Carbon dioxide is not a pollution as such because this is a gas that is required for the habitation of the earth. But yes, it can add to the greenhouse effect because it can trap the heat. Okay, think. Yes, you're right. I'm going to come on this point, like why it is more in the winter. Yes, you are valid that due to the cold air, it's having a high pressure. Anyways, I am going to explain that in detail. Okay, so you have told this, and this is what your newspaper says. Uh, Biogas, it's I think clean fuel. You want to say wood fires? Yes. Basically, if we are not using the clean fuel, that is a LPG, instead we are using the wood fire. Even if the cow dung is burnt, that is also polluting the air. Why there is a pollution? Because the pollutant gases comes out. Now, what are the pollutant gases? Let's look at that. You must have heard of the word AQI, Air Quality Index. So, what are the gases taken by the government? PM, particulate matter, 2.5 and 10. This is telling the size of the particulate matter. Now, which is more harmful? Obviously, 2.5. Because it's lesser in size, what happens is it can particulate, basically enter into our lungs. Nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone. Now, this ozone, I'm not talking about the ozone layer. It means the tropical, basically the lower level, we have ozone. It's a pollutant. But if it's in the stratosphere, it is protecting our earth from the sun's UV rays. I hope you know the basic science. So ammonia and then the lead. Again, see, we are not seeing the carbon dioxide. Carbon emission is leading to the greenhouse effect. But carbon monoxide is a basically injurious to our health. Clear? So these are the pollutants that our government is measuring. This is what you have to learn. Now, even the grading, I cannot predict like whether it can be asked in the GS3 or not. Why? Because in the past, I think 2022, they have asked about the color coding with regard to the cyclone and the rainfall. So, and air pollution remains in the news. They can ask about this also. At least you should know the grade. Like from 0 to 50, we have a good 51 to 100 satisfactory. At least look at this. Like swear is 401 to 500. This is a factual thing. It can be given different grading as well. And even when we will feel that we cannot reduce the pollution, we might put this 201 to 300 to the good situation. So it's dependent on the regulation, how we are calculating the air quality index. So these are the pollutants are taken by the government to see the air quality. Clear? So this is what you have to learn for the prelims. This color coding mostly will be helpful in the GS3, as I have already told you what kind of question they have asked. Only one thing we can do, by looking at the previous year, we can predict the future. This is only the guide. What institutes are making that cannot basically make sure that can be asked or not. Clear? Write these pollutants in your notes because this is important for the prelims. PM10, PM 2.5. Nitrogen dioxide, that is actually not humanly possible. Even if you learn today, like one day before the exam, you will not be able to see that. So let's not focus on that. At least it's clear. The good will be green and the basically sphere will be red. Just learn this because that will not be possible. And we are not even unless we know the exact colors, we cannot even predict. Like one more thing you can learn is the moderate one, yellow. At least green and red. Clear? Now, air quality index. Can anybody tell me what was the body that was existing with regard to the Delhi air pollution? Okay, this is a current body. Earlier, actually, the Supreme Court has set up a body by the name of EPCA, Environmental Pollution Conservation Authority. So it was set up by the Supreme Court. So now I want to just test this. I know this is a simple information. If Supreme Court has said this, which body it is? It's a statutory body or not? Yes or no? Okay. What is statutory body? So it is through the act. Yes. Can Supreme Court make an act? Okay. Separation of power. There are three bodies: legislative body, executive body, judicial body. So legislature, the law can be made by only legislature. Judiciary can give the recommendation. Yes, in India, judicial pronouncements are taken by law itself, but it cannot make law. So in the exam, you cannot write this. And even if the Supreme Court is using the Article 142, what it is written there, for the complete justice, Supreme Court can act. That is why we talk about the judicial activism, judicial overreach. So basically, if the judiciary is intervening in the field of the executive, in the field of legislature, it is against the separation of power. But you can justify by writing. In the exam, you have to write the both way. Negative, it's against the separation of power. Positive, Article 142. And even to achieve the right to equality. So if the Supreme Court has set up this can be used as an example in which topic GS2 separation of power. But the simple meaning is separation of power. There are three legs of the state: legislature, judiciary, executive. Legislature makes the law. Executive implements the law. Judiciary administers the law. The basically takes the disputes with regard to the law. So this is a separation of power. But yes, in India, we do not have a tight separation of power. We have a checks and balances. Now it is a basically GS2 topic. Maybe in future something will come in the newspaper. I will take on that. Now let's back. Supreme Court has set up a Environmental Pollution Conservation Authority. This body now recently has been replaced by CAQM. What it is? Commission for Air Quality Management. Now this is has been set up under a act. This is a statutory body. CAQM Act. But earlier, EPCA was for the Delhi. But in this, we have taken the Delhi, NCR, and the adjoining areas as well. Area of Punjab, Rajasthan, Haryana, UP. Why? Because we have understood it cannot be tackled by tackling the pollution of Delhi only. It is affected by other states as well. Like for example, if the illegal mining of the Aravali Hills is continuing, that is also creating the dust particles. This is affecting the Delhi air pollution. That's why it was in news. But in the exam, you will not be able to write this much. How, like for the prelims, what they can ask? From which states Aravali passes? They can go for the physical geography. But this kind of the basically news articles cannot be basically how they can make a question. Always think how it can be asked in the objective, in the mains. It's on you whether you are able to write that example or not. Like, well, if we are talking about the Delhi air pollution, mining should come. Clear? So CAQM body, it is including the NCR region and adjoining areas that I have already told you other states are also included in this. So earlier there was a EPCA. Now in the future, CAQM can be asked in the GS3. And then the prelims, basic things can be asked about this body in the prelims. Now tell me, if the government is making an act, what should be written there? Consider yourself as a lawmaker. Again, this is another rule. If you are reading a law, think about this. It is made for something purpose that is needs to be addressed. Clear? In that, they will not write something new. They will write the same thing only. Unless it comes in the controversy that different provision we have to learn. What can be written there? We will invest in the technology to reduce the air pollution. There should be a collaboration between the states to reduce the air pollution. And if something found is illegal or something creating the air pollution, the action can be taken, fine can be put. This basic things will be written in that. So if you're reading a new, basically any topic, think, then read it. And if you read something, try to apply your mind. The same words will be used in every act. Who are the policy makers or the law makers? The human beings, obviously. That cannot be made by the alien. So he also have the same mindset. Why the act comes? There is always a problem. To resolve that, law comes. This is what is written in the act. Clear? So nothing very specific is written, but yes, the one more thing you need to know is it is covering the adjoining areas also. Earlier there was a EPCA that has been replaced by the CAQM. Now let's come to the news article. Delhi air quality. What has been highlighted by the newspaper? Like, what are the reasons? In Delhi we have vehicles. You have already told me. But the thing is, it is the highest contributor. Tires, it should be clubbed together. Vehicles are the largest contributor. Then we have a coal and the fly ash. Now, what is fly ash? It has been asked in the prelims already. I hope you understand ash. You have seen ashtray. So this is what a fly ash. So basically, after burning the coal, what remains is the fly ash. Ash, after burning something, ash remains. So this is a fly ash. We are trying to use it for road making. We are trying to use the fly ash for the bricks making. So this is linked to the environment. Even for the coal, to reduce the fly ash, what we are trying to use to wash the coal. Then we have a LPG, municipal solid waste. This is also the problem. Now, where it can be asked about the municipal solid waste? Again, in the urbanization. Again, in the GS3, environment, pollution and degradation. So this chart will not help you to write in the exam. They are not going to ask about this. But simple, you already know this. You have already told about the vehicle. You might write the other reasons, but you can basically see the coal and fly ash. Actually, I have also to see this full form. Maybe it's due to the social impact assessment or something. I have to see the full form. Way forward. What do you think? Let's forget what your government says. Yes. In the public vehicles, you can say to reduce the vehicular emission, we need to have a clean fuel also. Okay, what can be the clean fuel? Now the government is focusing on the hydrogen energy, or you can say e-vehicles. But again, this also requires the technology. This will create the e-waste. And for this, what we required for the e-vehicles? Lithium. That is imported from the other country. Which countries? Yes. The ABC triangle in the South America. Argentina, Bolivia, Chile. So this is how you need to study. If you think you will read the newspaper Just what they used to do in the newspaper is by just focusing on one criteria, and they keep on writing the full page on one factor. And then what do you do to write that? You write that one factor, and you think this is the only reason. So before reading a newspaper article, you should apply your mind. You know the 10 reasons, newspaper will add the 11th reason. I'm talking about the topics that are simple. But yes, in the newspaper, there are topics that will be new to you. Sorry? Clean fuel, actually, the biogas. You cannot write the repeated points. Okay. Basically, we also have a rotavator. So what it is? This is an example to create a asset, or you can say technology. So what can I say? Invest in the technology to find the alternatives to fight the stubble warning. And it can be written as an example as such. But don't you think, even if you don't know the examples as such, you know, we need to invest in the technology? Yes. I think it should be the first point. Planting the trees, afforestation, this is what we require. And even there was a, in the past, we have seen in one report that in the South Delhi, there is a less pollution as compared to the CP. Why? Because it's having a more forest area. Okay, this point will come in the regulation. I'm focusing on the heading part. You need to think in that way only. So this is point what where how you can write it. Legal measures regulating the sectors. So this is for the mitigation. This is for the regulation. Please, online students, participate. Yeah, at least add 1, 2, 3 points. Vehicles. So basically, for the vehicles, they have already told the you can write in that way. Public vehicles, clean fuel, using the odd even formula with regard to that. Sorry. Yes, good case studies can anyway mention. 2015. Let's solve this question. Mumbai, Delhi, and Kolkata are the three mega cities of the country, but the air pollution is much more serious problem in the Delhi as compared to the other two. Now, even if this question will repeat, I will say this is not from the current affairs. It has been already asked in the past year, in 2015. Let's try this question. So basically, Mumbai, Delhi, and Kolkata are the three mega cities, but the Delhi air pollution is more severe than the other two. What are the reasons here? Sorry? Okay. Why the ocean is the reason? Because that gives the moisture. It means in Delhi we have a dry air. Now, do you have heard the word relative humidity? This is a geography. What is humidity? Water content. How much air can hold? It depends on the temperature. The more temperature, the more water retention capacity. Less temperature, less water retention capacity. So in the Delhi air, there is a less water retention capacity. What happens is we have a dry hair in the Delhi. It means the rainfall does not come, and that too also leading to the pollution more. This is the first reason. If you're saying the ocean, winds, ocean, there are winds blowing. What winds do? Dispersing the pollutants. But in Delhi, it does not happen. And then you can also talk about the development of this particular region. You can talk about the other reasons, like other states are also affecting the Delhi. We have a Punjab, Haryana, stubble burning. All this can be mentioned here. And the thing is, we also have a cold air. These are the having the moderate climate. What is the difference between the cold air and the basically hot air? That is what you have mentioned. Cold air always, sorry, okay, high pressure. It always sinks. Hot air always goes up because the hot air, it becomes lighter. It will always go up. The cold air is a heavy air. It always sinks. What happens is the pollutants come at the lower surface level, and the hot air basically takes the pollutants upper in the air. So this is also the another reason we have. This is what your newspaper has taught. It means even if you have not read, so it should be covered by you due to the basically previous year. Now let's look at the why worse in winter. Cold air traps more pollution. Thermal inversion, I will come to this point. Drier air holds more pollution. Cold air molecules naturally holds less moisture than the warm air molecules. No wind to disperse the pollutants, and moreover we do not have the rain. This is what you have to write for that previous year, and this is what is written in your newspapers. Now let's see what is thermal inversion. Okay, what is the normal scenario in the geography? As we go up, the temperature should reduce or increase. Reduce. Thermal inversion is basically opposite thing. Let's look at it. Normal condition, as we go up, the cool air is there, but in the thermal inversion, what happens is above the cold air, it's a warm air. Why it is happening in the geography? It can be due to the valley. It can be due to the cold night. So this is what you need to prepare for the GS1 geography. From this basically topic, it can be derived. Now it's your homework. You will prepare the topic thermal inversion. Prepare your answer well. What you will write in the notes? Causes of the thermal inversion, impact of the thermal inversion. This is what is required for the UPSC. Causes of the thermal inversion, you have already understood the meaning. And the second is impact of the thermal inversion. Have you written it? Anuj, it's fine now. Okay. Done. Let's solve previous years of the prelims. Okay, before that, I want to show you the case studies that has been asked. I'm just telling you the crux. Shutting down the pollutant MSME, the dilemma. So basically, it means the environment versus development. If you are shutting down the polluting industries, it is decreasing the employment. So these type of case studies can also come in the ethics paper. Now, if you read the newspaper, always read like what bureaucracy is trying to do, what politicians are trying to do. This will help you to write the case studies better. But anyways, you can write the general one. The basically the short term measures needs to be taken, long term measures. Short term measure could be, we can ask the basically the MSME to deploy the technology. There is a basically scrubbers that can reduce the pollution. Technology can be used to reduce the pollution in the air. But because we cannot shut down them, but yes, we can give the timeline to them to bring that. We can ask the government to give the subsidy to support that person. We can have a crowdfunding also to deploy that. So have this mindset. Like what can be done? Because we cannot, you are not NGO. You cannot go for the, I will go for the environment. You cannot say, I will go for the development no matter what happens to the environment. You are going to be a bureaucrat, so you have to be a balanced approach. That is why in the mains, always be prepared with the positives and the negatives. You cannot say, I am of the view of this. Second, polluting factory closure leading to the unemployment. So there is a established theme, development versus environment. So you should be prepared with that. How we can have a balanced organic farming. This is one example. How? Development, obviously. We can export organic products. It can reduce the pollution as well. It can reduce the soil pollution. If you're developing the basically any national park, or you can say the tourism park, that is also conserving the environment, that is also creating the tourism sector. Circular economy. What is circular economy? Reusing, recycling industry. Like for example, your phone. You can recycle it again to extract the critical minerals from it. So this will be a circular economy. And this will also create the employment. This will also reduce the pollution. This will also reduce the e-waste. So this mindset should be there in you. You are appointed as officer heading the section in the Environment Pollution Control Board to ensure the compliance and its follow-up. In that reason, there were large number of the small and medium industries which has been granted the clearance. Okay, previous year. Is it visible? Sorry. Option 1, 2, 3, and 4. All. Okay, I'm going to ask, anybody want to put A, B, C, or D? You want to put B. Okay, done? It's done? Yes or no? First is 1, 3, and 4. Second is 2 and 3. Third is 1 and 4. Last is 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think it's done. Who wants to mark A? B? A. Okay. B? C? D? Okay. Now tell me, UPSC wants to test you on this basis, like the what pollutants are released by the steel industry. Can they test it? Can you go and test like which gases are released there? Don't you think you should mark all? Either don't attempt it. but we do not have a one, two, three. Carbon dioxide is not measured as a pollutant in the EQI, but this is a gas only. Can it not be released? In the carbon monoxide, how it is written? CO. Adding the just oxygen, it will become CO2. Sorry? Okay, but can you say from the steel industry it cannot come outside? It just basically the chemical reaction has to occur to become a carbon monoxide. And anyways, sorry. In the steel industry, we require a coal for it to run. You will cover the steel industry in the JS1, and it is an industrial topic. You will cover, and coal is the one that is a fuel that is required for every industry to burn. The thing is, this question is not even testing you, it is just testing your presence of mind. Basically, you cannot go there to see, like, even if that gas is released this much, what will happen? This should be included. And always, if you will read the Wikipedia page also and other guesses, for this, I think we require a scientist. At least 10, 12 scientists should come and see which of the gases have released in the this proportion. This is not the question of the knowledge. This is of the presence of mind. I should have skipped this. I should have go on the factual things. I should have go on the knowledge only. But this will basically keep you away from the UPSC demand. Why? What could I have done is, before showing this question, I have given you the notes from the steel industry. These pollutants have released, but I don't know. In the future, they will add 5, 6, 7, 8. So the rule is, either don't attempt this question if you have a doubt. If you think you require a scientist to answer this question, then don't attempt it. How can you exclude some gases from here? These are this chemical reaction. Clear? So the answer should be all. Clear? I think this was asked in 2022. Cold. Want to take more time? Okay. Again, this question, yes, requires a knowledge. But now you're sitting in the exam. You have to take a decision. How you're going to think? Although I know the answer, but assume and do not know the answer. Let's try to solve it. How should excessive ozone in the air can trigger the asthma? Can. And moreover, yes, this is a pollutant. Yes, obviously it can. I think it's a normal statement. It can be true. Okay, I will include the fourth. So at least D option can be eliminated in the exam. I know the answer already. I again mentioning it. PM10 can penetrate the lung barrier and enter the bloodstream. Yes, this is a knowledge actually. But at the time when I'm sitting there, I was not knowing this fact because this is linked. Like you can be from the science and tech background, you can be from the science background. Think about the commerce background people. This cannot be known fact. Okay, can. It may be. Obviously, right now I know this is not the answer, but I cannot assume in the exam hole. I'm just telling you why because what we try to do is we take the exceptions to solve the paper. I would say this is an exceptional question. If you do this question wrong, it's fine. But don't change your concepts to solve the question. I know this is a wrong statement. Only PM 2.5 can penetrate. But in the exam, you cannot take a decision. What if somebody would give the article that the PM10 can also penetrate? Okay, in the year, highest levels of the ozone pollution occur during the periods of the inclement weather, cold weather. This is an extreme statement. The highest level only occurs during this. Highest is what? The extreme level. It can be at other times also. So in the exam, at least I can exclude this. So I would include the third, fourth. So, but here, first statement. This is a right statement that the regulations are given by the WHO. Can you learn this? And the basically the fact part is in that year they have asked the same question in the mains also. They said the pollution norms, WHO with regard to the pollution norms. All these are the exceptional questions. You cannot predict in advance. On these type of the questions, don't decide your strategy to prepare. Clear? But in the exam, I will exclude this statement first. I'm just telling you my strategy to solve the paper. This question, if it is wrong, if still, then you will clear the prelims because you have to do the questions that are supposed to be right. So I will exclude the first statement. So, but if I would exclude the first, I have not left with any option. Then I will go read again. So this is on me basically to decide. It means either I have to include it. If I would include the first, then I would mark the 1, 3, and 4. But the answer is 1 and 4, B. Because this is a knowledge part. From the next time, now you should know. Only PM 2. If you're not learning from the previous years, that is a bad part. But if you're changing the strategy on the basis of exceptional, this is also bad part. This is a learning for you. So only the PM 2.5 can penetrate into the lungs. And now these kind of the statements, we cannot uh, treat them wrong. And this is a factual part. Now again, this is a situation of 1% from the 100% that the UPSC has given the factual statement as right. But you will not change your strategy. For that, you have to see the previous years. Clear? It's a particulate matter. Now, it's not your part to know about it. Basically, 2.5 and the 10, it's on the size of the particulate matter. Clear? We have already covered air quality index. It means UPSC has even asked about this because the pollution is the new, not new one. It's new for us maybe because we are reading the articles. So answer will be 2, 3 and 4. At least carbon dioxide and methane. It's not a part of it, but yes, these both are the greenhouse gases. Now, in the next week, I will take the COP29 as well because the articles would come because the recently meeting has happened. So I will go into that, the Paris Agreement, Kyoto Protocol. Another article, India needs an environment health regulatory agency. Even if you read the article, what could be the crux? What do you think? Why we require a environmental health regulatory agency? Okay, for the regulation of the environment, pollution, we have a CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. And other body, we have a Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MOIFC. For the health, what we have? Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. But there is no coordination between them, so we can have a body that could have a basically regulating both together. And even your WHO has mentioned there should be a one health approach: human being, animal, and environment. Where you will use this knowledge? GS2, health topic. GS3, environment. This is just a way forward. But let's suppose UPSC gives this question. What do you think? How will you write? You will write the positive and negative, and then you will give the way forward. You know the positive? What will happen with this? We will be able to reduce the deaths with regard to the air pollution. We will be able to reduce the diseases. Lifestyle diseases can be reduced. We can reduce the situation of the lungs cancer. So this is good for the health. Clear? And it will be also helping in the inclusive growth, sustainable growth. So these are the positive we can write, but the negative could be actually not negative as such, but challenges to set up. Like who will head this body, whether the health or the environment? Who will be included in this? So this will be. Now yes, Japan and the USA are having this body. So India can also have this. Okay, I was discussing about the way forward. So one way forward you already got. That we need to develop a environment health regulatory agency. You have told me about the technology, you have told me about the regulator. Regulator, environmental health regulatory agency. Afforestation. So think if you know about the reasons of something, you can also find the way forward. Don't you think we should also create the awareness among the public? Even if you have created the vehicles, but still people want to travel by their personal cars, it means people, community has to be taken into it. And we need to have a people for the afforestation drive also. And we can also have a Amjinarega for this. And anyways, we always say for the urban area also we need to have a Amjinarega, so we can have a combination of this. So just don't let the newspaper to decide what you are going to write the way forward. Apply your mind. Then only you can clear this exam. Clear. But yes, newspaper will give you the topic on which you should think. But that should be clear to you how it had been asked in the past, how it is linked to your syllabus. Clear? Tell me more. Yes, awareness campaigns of the society, including them. It means we need to work on the various levels. Legal level, you can say, societal level changes, technological investment in the R&D for the decreasing, and we can also have a work from home culture. What Delhi government or the CM has done, closing the schools, going on online, and then the work from home has been suggested to the public offices. This can be used as in the case studies of the ethics paper. and can be used as a way forward also here. And here you should also talk about the existing bodies. CB should act. In the answer, actually, you have to show your knowledge as well. If you know that there is a Central Pollution Control Board, you also should mention this. If you know CEQM, you should mention this. That they should implement the act. We have lots of schemes, but the problem is in the implementation. And even our Prime Minister has also started a life movement. What is life movement? The basically under this, the people will try to reduce the plastic pollution, will try to reduce the basically waste, solid waste also. So basically consumption culture should be decreased. The people should be sensitive to the earth. Clear? It means the life movement can also be mentioned. And even in your GS4 syllabus, what words are used? Social persuasion, social skills. Try to use the syllabus words in the answer as well. If you're saying the awareness campaigns, what we are trying to do? Persuading the people. And this is actually the task of the bureaucrat. He is just going to be the advisor of the policy. The policy will be signed by the politician. He will bring the change at the societal level. That is only possible if he will bring the attitudinal change of the people. What people thinks? The government is not doing this. Sitting in the private car, traveling alone. Oh my God, lots of traffic here. What the government is doing? So this is what we need to change in the attitude. And moreover, that is why in the GS4, attitude formation is given in your syllabus. Clear? Let's move to the another topic. Recently, bilateral investment treaty has been signed with the UAE. Where UAE is situated? West Asia. I have forgot to include the map. From the next time, I will make sure. This is a Saudi Arabia. So there is a on the tip there is Oman, and here is a UAE. UAE, you can know it by Dubai. United Emirates basically having the 7, and one is Dubai, and Abu Dhabi basically. Yes. So UAE is the country in the West Asia. So if this agreement has been signed, to which topic you will relate? In the international relations, bilateral, regional, and global groupings and agreements involving the India and affecting the India's interest. So they are not going to ask in the GS2. Recently, the investment treaty has been signed between the UAE and India. What it will impact? Because will be a very narrow question. They might ask India's developing relations with the UAE. There you have to justify, take it as an example. And recently, in the past also, we have also signed the SEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with the UAE only. In the past, we also had a Abraham Accord. What was Abraham Accord? Okay, do you know the history of the West Asia? Okay, next class, I will take this part only also. But if we talk about the regional groupings there, the main thing is in there, the major powers are, you can say, Iran versus Saudi Arabia. Some of the countries are with the Saudi, some are with the Iran. And the other part is also Israel versus Palestine. Okay, maybe you don't know the location of these countries. I will come to this in the next class. Let's stick to the bilateral investment treaty now, because otherwise, as I have not included the map, you will not be able to understand where these countries are located. Clear? Now back bilateral investment treaty. How it will be useful to your exam? In the GS2, they will ask you India's developing relations with the UAE or maybe with the West Asia. There you have to write the economic relations, economic development. On what part you will basically analyze any country's relationships? Political. So what? How we are having a dialogues with those countries? How we are investing the infrastructure? How we are having a trade with the countries? Scientific level. So this way we have to proceed with any country. So one of the example is bilateral investment treaty. SEPA, it's on you which you want to use. Now let's come to the GS3. Investment modules. It is mentioned in your syllabus. What is investment? I don't want any hi-fi words. Anyways, some people I know, so you have to answer. What is investment? Okay. So basically, you're saying the investment is something from which we will get a return. Okay. Addition to the capital stock will the investment. Generally, what we consider is an investment. Like for example, if you're earning 1 lakh, from that 1 lakh, yes, Anuj, from you also I expect. Okay, investment. Generally, what we consider if we are earning 1 lakh, 50,000 we put in the bank, it's investment. But this is a savings. For the economy, this is a savings. Why? Because that is going into the banking sector. Further, it will be given as a loan to the firms. Firms will make an investment. For the country, what is investment is? Creation of the roads. Building the factory that will create the employment. Investing in the technology, this is also investment. What you are saving, that you said that the return expectation, it's actually a savings for the economy. Clear? Now, in your syllabus, investment models is mentioned. So what can we have an investment model? Public-private partnership, FDI, foreign direct investment. This is also investment model. We can have a investment from there, and one is bilateral investment treaty. So in this, obviously, how the FDI will come? What is foreign direct investment? The foreigner is coming to India to invest here. So FDI. When he will come, what do you think? When you will go to USA to invest, what do you expect from the US government? Okay, you will require that I should get a sport, that I should pay the less taxes. Yes. Yes, compensation, sport, at least protection. We will not go and invest in the Syria for sure because we don't know. In the Afghanistan for sure. Okay, we are also developing there. But at least if you know there is a risk, you will not go. And even if the Taliban has busted out your organization, to whom you will complain in the Afghanistan? They are itself basically ruling. Maybe you will go to the UN, United Nations. But then also they even don't know what to do with the Taliban. So this the investment will come where you have a protection to your investment. So that is why we always sign a bilateral investment treaty. This is what is written in the BITs, that how the foreign investor will be given a support by the government that you have told. Clear? So in the past, what we have done is, I will not explain the Vodafone case here fully, but I will give you the some brief example. For example, you have opened a, consider yourself as a US company. You are coming here in India. You have made transactions. Like in year 2024, do you think that this transaction is not taxable? Now after 10 years, what government do? Making this transaction taxable by making the retrospective amendment. What is retrospective amendment? Backdate changes. In 2034, it says the transaction happened in 2024 is now taxable. Will you invest in India? Then what it is? It's an uncertainty. You are creating the uncertainty for the foreign investment that we don't know about the government of India. It will make the changes anytime. This is what is not required. We have done so with the Vodafone. In 2012, we have charged them with the 8,000 crores on the basis of retrospective amendment. Netherlands. Retrospective amendment is allowed as such. Okay, let's come to your fundamental rights. Have you read Article 20? Okay, what are the three provisions? Have you covered fundamental rights? Yes. Self-incrimination, yes. This is what was the third. You cannot make the retrospective amendment. But in India, we have a protection for the criminal laws, not for the civil laws. It means in the taxation, we can have a retrospective amendment. This is allowed as per the fundamental rights, as per the constitution. But the thing is, this way FDI will not come if you are making the changes in the future. Okay, this is the taxation part. We will come to later. Now, the Vodafone case, we have charged 8,000 crores. That is why the country always prefer the bilateral investment treaties to be signed before, so that they know how the countries is going to protect it. Okay, what happened in 2016? We have unilaterally cancelled the BITs with the 44 countries. Why India would cancel it? Because obviously that was not in the favor of the India. Because in 2016, the Vodafone, Netherlands, court has said we have to seize the assets of the government. Government had to return the money of the Vodafone with interest. So what they did is cancelling the BITs. Because in the BIT it was written that the country, the investment can go to their court. Netherlands court can be approached by the Vodafone. It was written in the BIT signed with the Netherlands. So what we did is cancelling the BITs. Then we have brought the model BIT. Why the word model is used? Bilateral investment treaty. What is bilateral? Between two countries. Multilateral? Many countries. Clear? Investment, you already know, treaty is agreement. Clear? Model BIT. Why we use the word model? It means it will act as a model document. Whenever we will sign a BIT with any country, we will use this document as a reference material to make the BITs. Clear? So this was what a model BIT. Why this is important? Because model BIT was not good at all for the foreign investment. Because we have put some conditions in the BIT that will reduce the FDI. I will tell you the issues, but thankfully we have not included this in the BIT signed with UAE. So we have moved away from the model BIT. What is model BIT? I have already told you. What were the issues in it? Okay. Foreign investor must exhaust the local remedies. What are the local remedies in India? District court, civil court, district court, high court, supreme court. How much time it will take? Maybe 30 years, 35 years. You have to exhaust the local remedies for at least 5 years. At least they have not put for at least 30 years. But in the model BIT, they have put for 5 years, you cannot go to the other country's court. You have to try here in our courts. Then you can go to their country. So the Vodafone should try in 2012 till 2017 to go to the Netherlands court. Then the Netherlands court will decide what should be done. Clear? But yes, good thing happened is we have included only 3 years in the UA. At least it should be the given, because otherwise we will not be able to resolve the cases. I hope you know the problem. In India, would we have a problem? Judicial pendency. It means when you are writing about the GS2, their question comes, the judicial pendency is impact. One impact is also reducing the foreign investment. The investment is not going to come. How will you make an investment when you are not sure that it is protected or not? You should have a, even in the institute, if you have joining just for 1 year course, you always want a grievance redressal. You want to approach the admin that this is not happening and all. So the investor who has put in the crores, obviously that would want a support. Next problem was investment definition. What they have written is foreign investment should benefit host country. Host country is what? India. If the US company is coming here, it should benefit the host country. What is the benefit? What kind of benefit we are talking about here? There is no clarity. Maybe they are saying it should create the employment, like decrease in the technology maybe. It should not pollute the environment. Any kind of benefit could be there, but there should be clarity. Then on which it will be dependent, then tribunals. The foreign company will go to the tribunal that the government is charging the fines, because the government will say, because you are not creating the benefit. What kind of benefit you are talking about? So we have also excluded this. So now how it is important for you? In the GS3, they will ask you why the BITs have not been signed yet. Like what could be the model BIT? What should be the basically how it should be? What are the issues there? These kind of the questions can be asked. But yes, BIT with the UAE can be used as an example also in the GS2 while writing about the West Asia or the UAE. Is it clear? Bilateral investment treaty problems. So these are the two main problems we had, but yes, we have removed it for the UAE. So in the future, we can expect that the government has realized this. Now there is another ISDS claim. This is a investor-state dispute mechanism. It is linked to which World Bank? In the World Bank, we have 5 institutions. Can anybody tell me the name? World Bank is not even a World Bank, it's a World Bank group. It is having 5 institutions under this. Yes. IBRD. Infrastructure Bank and Regulatory Development. IFC. International Finance Corporation. MIGA. Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. I think one is International Development Institution IDI and one is left. Can anybody check? IDA, ICSID. What it is? International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. This is what we are talking about. International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes. So it is now. Do you know what is UN? United Nations. There are specialist agencies of the UN. In this, only these three are basically specialized agencies of the UN. Other two are not under the UN, but this is in the World Bank. Now this is the part of the international relations. It can be asked in the prelims paper. Let's come to the International Center for the Settlement of the Investment Disputes, ICSID. For this I am talking about. India is not a member of it. Obviously, why India is not becoming a member? Clear? This is not favorable for the India. If you have become a member of it, you have to give the protection also to the foreign investment. But there is always a developed versus developing. There are some problems. We have to protect our domestic companies as well. Clear? Under this, there is a ISDS claim that is talking about the dispute resolution for the investor. Now, who can approach this center? Only and only foreign investor. Who cannot approach? No. Even the citizens cannot approach. Like for example, if you will say, this company is not, is creating the environment pollution here, you cannot approach the ICSID. Host country cannot approach this. Only and only foreign investor can approach this. Now, what it gives a protection? It gives a protection. It says the fair and equal treatment should be given to the foreign investment. And it also says the foreign investor has a right to take his profits back to their country. Clear? They have the right to take the profits back to their country. Is it clear? So this is ISDS, but you should remember ICSID. India is not a member of it. Other four, we are members, and these three, these are the specialist agencies of the UN. I know, although I was covering the BIT, but I'm telling you the other facts also. But this is how you have to read. Because otherwise, maybe the World Bank will not even come in the discussion. From the current affairs, if they are asking this is a static portion also, but sometimes current affairs also guides the static portion that has to be read. Is it clear? So it's on the discussion, like how we proceed. I know there are intermingling of some topics, although BIT with the UAE, I should discuss about the UAE, but I am focusing on the BIT because that is the more important. Now you have also understood about the model BIT. In the GS3, if they would ask, you should know the issues there. It means we have a problem in the investment definition. We also have a put a condition that we have to exhaust the domestic remedies. Is it clear? Any doubt? What are still issues in the UAE? No talk of the MFN status. Now, what is MFN? Most favored nation. Have you heard of WTO? World Trade Organization. Article 1 of the World Trade Organization says you have to give the MFN status. MFN is most favored nation. What it means? Actually, from the name what we are thinking, favor should be given, but actually the favor is not to be given. What is the meaning? For example, US company opens an enterprise in India. It says, and then the Pakistan company opens here. Anyways, we are going to discriminate them, it's fine. But WTO says you cannot discriminate between the Pakistan company and the US company if both are the members of the WTO. Clear? So you have to treat both foreign companies of the member nations at par. But yes, exceptions have been given to the investment treaties. Exceptions have been given to the free trade agreements. Like for example, if you have a trade agreement with the US, you have to give the favor. Clear? Is it clear what is most favored nation? Treating the two foreign companies at par belonging to the member nations of the WTO. Second principle of the WTO is national treatment. You have to treat the US company at par with the domestic company. Is it fine? Now, if some article would come on the World Trade Organization in the future, I will go in deeper into the World Trade Organization. Let's back to the no talk of the MFN status. So in this, we have not even talked about the most favored nation status. Taxation power, again, we have kept out of the purview of the bilateral investment treaty. It means again we want to do the retrospective amendment. It has said if it has been kept out of purview, what will happen? The UAE will cannot go to their court on the basis of taxation. Clear? Now you have also got why it has been kept out of purview, because we have faced international embarrassment on the basis of Netherlands, Vodafone, and the Karen Energy. Actually, Karen Energy is also the same case. Uh, it will be very heavy if I would explain the Vodafone case now, because otherwise you will just move out of the class, because I will discuss holding subsidiary and all. But yes, in the future, if we would get a chance, we will go into the Vodafone case more deeper. Is it clear? At least you should know retrospective amendment. In India, it is allowed for the civil laws. It is not allowed for the criminal laws as per Article 20. Let's look at the previous year question. 2016. Justify the need for the FDI for the development of the Indian company. Oh, sorry, Indian economy. Why there is a gap between the MOU signed and the actual FDIs? Suggestion remedial steps to be taken for increasing the actual FDIs in India. Maybe you will not be able to give the basically ideal answer, but I expect you will add some 2-3 points to each of the part. It's very far, I'm not able to see you. Okay, what do you think? Why the FDA is required? Yes, it will create the employment. Okay, investment, infrastructure, capital stock, whatever you want to write. Think. I know your names. By the time I will your name as well. Yes. Simple. GDP. Exports will also increase. It means this not does not even require to read something. You know what is FDI. If you know FDI is an investment, it will create something here. It is going to contribute in the other indicators of the economy. Clear? Simple, you can write this, and trust me, this is what you are going to write even after 2 years. Even you will write less after 2 years. Why? Because you will have a lot of knowledge, you will not apply your mind, you will trust on the that recent knowledge, not on your mind as such. Clear? Let's, and it's not even a older question, 2016. Other, why there is a gap? Why do you think? Even if we have a lot of MOU signed, what is MOU? Memorandum of Understanding. Just, can I say it's also BIT? We have lots of, it's also Memorandum of Understanding BIT. Oh, I know there are the provision differences, but some of the provisions will be same. Why do you think there is a gap? Even we have a MOU, but still FDA is not coming. What are the reasons? Issues. Here you can talk about the any kind of incident as well. Although if you're writing this, you have to give the example also in the exam, because you are now a main student. But now in today's class, I will accept this point. Clear? Because at least you are able to think in which direction I have to think with regard to the question. And even you can write, we are not a member of ICSID. Although even if you will not write, it's not like your answer is incomplete. But if you're writing this, this shows you are relevant to the current affairs. You are knowing the exact things. This is what you need to add in the current affairs classes. But this should be there in your mind before itself, by application of your mind. If you're able to think about the protection, it should be there. But if you're going to give a technical word with regard to it, this is actually newspaper should add. If the newspaper is adding this, it means you think you are not basically above 20 years old. You were not living in India. You have come from other planet. Next, from the recent discussion, at least drive some points. We are only left with the half an hour. I have to cover other two topics as well. Yes, Payal. Less opportunities. With regard to, you're talking about the governance system in here. How is our governance? If there is a corruption, lack of ease of doing business, like if you have to set, you have to get it registered. If the government is not providing the support, then also the investment will not come. Again, actually you have to write the factors of production. Problem relating to the factors of production is actually the reason. But the thing is, you have to add this because it is asking about the specifically why FDA is not coming. Even nobody has mentioned about the retrospective amendment. Lack of certainty in the government policies. Okay, if you have included in that, it's fine. Because I think we should write it separately, at least from the class. India is not a member of ICSID. And secondly, model BIT. You can also write about the discriminatory model BIT. What we have put. At least 5 years, we have to exhaust the domestic remedies. You can also write, right now we do not have a model BITs. You can write the situation that India has unilaterally cancelled the BITs. India has made the retrospective amendment to the taxation. Other points can be general. We have a problem in the factors of production. Do you know what are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, technology, governance, social factors. So this is the problem you need to write in this question. Let's look at the other part. What measures do you think? Even you should mention the judicial pendency also. This is also the reason the FDA does not come. The lack of protection you have said, there you can use this knowledge, like lack of dispute resolution mechanism. Okay, remedial steps. What do you think? Sorry? Okay, we should improve the governance. What is the tagline of the government? Minimum government, maximum governance. Ease of doing business. Use these kinds of the words. We need to reduce the corruption. Improving the governance is the one step to go. Yes, judicial pendency should be reduced. Hmm? I'm not able to understand. Okay, SEZs. Yes, we should can create these kind of things for the FDI to come. Because under this, we are also giving the tax holidays as well. Oh, okay, space. By resolving the land records, by resolving the land disputes. What we don't have? Digital land records. Yes, others. Okay, it's covered under here only CZs. Sorry? You can write the separately point also about this. Bringing the certainty. You can also write about the model BIT here. Amendments in the BIT. Protection. Again, you have to improve the factors of production. If the government will increase the expenditure in the R&D, this will also help. And the most important problem for the FDI is IPR. Intellectual property rights are not protected in India. What is copyright? Whenever there is a document is formed, and I think Shailendra sir has already taken the IPR topic. Copyright, if you have written a song, if you have sung a song, you can get it copyrighted. But do you think, have you heard of that song, Kacha Badam? Obviously, remember, in on that also we have faced the copyright issue, because the thing is we are not if like to get it copyright, you don't even need to register this. Even if you have written the copyrighted material on your notes, that will become the copyright. How will you prove that? We are seeing the fake brands also. The Nike and all, these are basically available in the fake duplicacy. It means we are not giving the adequate protection to the intellectual property rights. This is also the problem. They will not come to your country if you are not providing so. Okay, someday if we get a time, we will also dwell into the intellectual property rights. If some article would come directly on the IPR, but this is also the problem in India. Now we have discussed the newspaper article. You have understood how it can be linked to the syllabus as such, and we have also solved the one previous year question. Manipur violence. Again, it is emerging. I do not know whether sir has taken the older one or not. They have covered the Manipur violence in the classes or not. Okay, so we will discuss what was the situation here. But before that, I want to show how it has been asked in the exam. I hope you know the Manipur is one of the northeast state. Northeastern region of India has been infested with the insurgency. Okay. For the long time, analyze the major reasons for the survival of armed insurgency in this regard. And Manipur is existing in northeast. It means in this you have to give the Manipur context also. How it is linked to your syllabus in GS3. Linkages between development and extremism. At least you know, forget about the topic. Internal security, it's in the GS3. Okay, let's look at the state. I will come to the Manipur. Let's look at the state, northeast states. There are 7 sister states. At least look at the map. Try to remember the location. Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. This side is a Tripura, Meghalaya, Assam, and Sikkim. These are the northeast states connected by India. This is a West Bengal. This is only the connection we have with the northeast. It means it is connected by mainland by just 1% land boundary. Other 99% is connected with this side. Okay, which country? Thank God. It is connected by mainland just 1%. Let's see. The question was clear. Reasons for the insurgency. What are the problems do you think these countries are adding? Bangladesh. Tell me. Okay, when was the Bangladesh created? 1971. It was earlier East Pakistan. In 1971, if there would be a war, where these people will go? Always to the neighboring areas. It means they moved to the Meghalaya, they have moved to the Assam, they have moved to the Tripura. This was the situation we were facing. What will happen if the refugees will come? There are already scarce resources. They will try to take them and there will be ethnic clashes. So it means the first reason in the armed conflict is the ethnic clashes. Why it is happening? Because they are having a different ethnicity. Different tribes are living in these regions. And you can say due to the refugees also. Until now, in the Bangladesh, we know there is a poverty where they will move again to the neighboring areas. So Bangladeshi Muslims has continued to come in these states. Again, I want to mention this thing, although I am saying Bangladeshi Muslims, in the northeast we do not have a conflict with regard to the religion. They fight on the ethnicity. To which race they belong. They consider them to be of the Mongoloid origin. Mongoloid, I think, can be related to the China or the Southeast Asia. But in our mainland, which races are staying? Aryans, Dravidians? They do not rate themselves to this race. So that is why we have ethnic clashes. And you already know, there were cases like in Delhi. If the northeastern people are there, they might consider them due to the racial differences. These are the Chinese people, Nepalese people, or maybe Southeast Asian, Korean. These kind of the races, basic racist comments should not be there. This was also the problem we had. Clear? Ethnic clashes. Okay. What Myanmar is adding to it? Okay. That's a very specific thing. What Myanmar? Have you heard of Rohingyas? These were also refugees. Again, Rohingyas were the Muslims. They have been basically out of the Myanmar. Where they will go? Again to the India. They have also gone to the Bangladesh. Again Bangladesh, from there to India and to the northeast. So the Myanmar is also adding the problem. And China is always a problem. China is claiming the Arunachal Pradesh. It has even given the stapled visa to the Arunachal Pradesh people. It means it is trying to consider them citizen of the China, not of India. Obviously, why it want Northeast? Resources, I hope. Government does not care about the people. I'm not say, I shouldn't use the word government, politicians. Does not care about the people, they care about the resources. And countries are really not fighting for the people. They don't want the more population here, they want the resources of that region. So the northeast is having a ample of resources. That is why we again want this region, and others are also claiming. Okay, let's come to the history. At the time of British era, what was the situation of northeast? It was given a separate administrative status. It was not included as in the British India. There were a lot of princely states. I hope you have read. In the post independence, like we have integrated the Sikkim in 1971. Sikkim has become a part of India in 1971. And all this reason was not in the British India. It was given a special administrative status. Have you heard of ILP? Inner line permit. What it is? It's just like a visa. Like even today, if you want to travel in some states, I will tell you which states, you have to get the ILP. Like to go to Punjab, you don't require any kind of permit as such. We can go anyway. But British era, what they did was they have brought the ILP, inner line permit. What is? It is like, for example, from the West Bengal, if somebody is moving to the Assam, that would require the ILP, inner line permit, sanction to enter this area. What will happen with this? I hope in the West Bengal at that time, there was a Subdeshi movement, nationalist movement. The most of the, basically, at that time, reformers were in the West Bengal, that too in the Bangladesh. The influence on the nationalist, it will not happen in the northeast region. It means even the nationalism has not spread out in the northeast region. And due to the inner line permit, they have always given a basically separate status. They have been given a autonomy. That is why they always ask for the autonomy. Third, Christian missionaries, British India. They allowed the Christian missionaries. In the world history, you will read imperialism. In the imperialism, they also have the target of spreading the Christianity. In the world history, you will read that how you can rule the people by ruling the good. How the basically the priest of any temple is able to say, just don't do this, because we have a belief. So if you want to rule something, change the belief. So Christian missionaries were one of them to spread the Christianity. But the thing is, due to the Christian missionaries, the literacy indicators are better in the northeast India. Many tribes have converted themselves into the Christianity as well. So this was the time of British era. Special administrative status, ILP, inner line permit. Third is Christian missionaries. This was the impact of the British India. What will happen? The Northeast India has remained in a isolation. Nationalism has not spread out to the Northeast India. That is why after independence, actually before the independence itself, they have declared the independence. Nagaland region, which tribe is dominating there? Naga tribe. Naga tribe is dominating in the Nagaland region. Now, on the day of 14th August 1947, EZ Fizo, the leader of the Naga National Conference, has declared the independence. It means, again, the Nagaland becomes the problem for the India to integrate. Now let's look at the map at the time of independence. There was a Arunachal Pradesh. Assam was having a Meghalaya in itself, it was having a Mizoram. It was having a Nagaland. So there was a separate state that was Manipur. So Assam was including four states: Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram. Now this you will read in the polity. When these were states has been declared as a separate state, Nagaland, Meghalaya, around 2000. Actually, earlier they were given as a basically UT status, then separately from the. Obviously, if there are different tribes, they will ask for the autonomy. At least one thing our state, our government can give: separate state at least, not a separate country. Now, JS1 topic regionalism. What is regionalism? If one region thinks I have a separate identity from the other region, it can be due to any of the reason. It can be due to different ethnicity. It can be due to different religion, like Khalistan, Sikhism. It can be different due to that we are not having a development with Vidarbh region of the Maharashtra. It can be due to the feeling that the other part is not developing to happen. Harit Pradesh in the UP. Why they want to be separate? Why the Uttarakhand was declared as a separate state from the UP? Regionalism feeling. Telangana. But when this regionalism feeling becomes a secessionist, what is secessionist? I want a separate country. That is Khalistan. That is Greater Nagalim. This is not good. Regionalism is accepted unless within a democratic setup. But it is, if it is going out of the democratic setup, we will not allow this to happen. In the Northeast, we have these secessionist tendencies. Gorkha land. Greater Nagalim. What is Greater Nagalim? Actually, they want to take the area of the Naga people. That will include the Myanmar region. Obviously, maybe we have created the boundaries. Don't you think the people will be living here as well? Earlier, there was no boundary. So this is also the problem. They want an independence. What is the reasons? We have already understood. There are lots of ethnic different groups are living. Tribal conflicts are there. I will come to the Manipur now. We have a international influence also. The other countries are also adding the problems. And due to the, it is connected to the India by just 1%. This is also the problem. Governance is always a problem. If there would be a corruption, there will be a nexus between the criminals, politicians and all. Okay, let's come to the map. Have you heard of the Golden Triangle and the Golden Crescent? On the northern border, there is Afghanistan, Iran and Pakistan. Drug cartels. I hope you know the Taliban is growing the opium, infiltrating to the India through the Rajasthan borders, Pakistan, Punjab borders, Jammu and Kashmir borders. That is why we have a drug abuse in the Punjab. Here also, Golden Triangle, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos. From this region also, the drugs are entering to the India. It means this is a region near to the organized crime. Again, this is in your syllabus. What is organized crime? Crime that is done by the group of people. What kind of examples? Human trafficking, drug trafficking, money laundering, smuggling of something, arms trafficking. So this reason is also like if there will be arms trafficking, obviously they have access to the arms. Obviously they are. It's very easy to take the guns if we have a guns. You already hate the government for the autonomy and you have access to the drugs and the arms and the money. You will use this, right? And moreover, this is a dense forest area. The problem is what they do is they hit some people and they can hide in the tree areas, the dense forest. We will not be able to find this. This is called as guerrilla warfare. Gorilla is an animal where it says in the dense forest, camouflage effect actually. If you will, like army, what is the color? Generally near to the forest colors. Brown, green, or you can say olive. So the camouflage effect is added. So this is why they are able to continue. Now let's come to the Manipur specifically. This is a Manipur state. The thing is we have a Imphal Valley. Who are living here? Metis. Now this is basically a fact. This is a tribe name. This is a plain area, valley area. And the other part of the Manipur is a hilly area. Who are living here? Kukis and Nagas. The thing is why the conflict has started. High Court judgment. Manipur High Court has said we should consider that the Metis should be given scheduled tribe status, ST status. Okay, what benefits you get under the constitution if you have got the status of the scheduled tribe? Yes, reservation, article 15 in the education institutions, article 16 in the public employment. Clear? Opportunities you will get. Yes. And have you heard of schedule 5? Schedule 6? So this is again your homework. In the next class, what previous homework I have given you? You will read about thermal inversion causes impact. You will read the difference between the schedule 5 and the schedule 6. What it is? Under the schedule 5, the tribal regions have been given an autonomy. In the schedule 6, it is more specific to the northeast region. What states are added? Assam, Tripura, Mizoram, Meghalaya. Meghalaya, Mizoram, Assam, Tripura. Schedule 6. So you will read the difference. Who have been given a power here, president or the governor. What we are trying to do is giving the autonomy. In these, what we have given is governor can decide which law of the government will not apply here. We are giving more autonomy to the local government. We are giving more autonomy to the autonomous councils. Clear? Let's come back to here. Scheduled tribes. You have already told me you will get the right of reservation under the Article 15 and Article 16. Article 15 for the educational institutions and for the Article 16 for the public employment. Now back here. So the High Court, the Manipur High Court has said the Metis people should be given the scheduled tribe status. Who will feel the discrimination now? Kukis and Nagas. They will say, if you will give the scheduled tribe status to the Metis, what will happen? They will lose the access to the jobs. Obviously, if the share of the Metis will increase, the other part will decrease. What will happen with this? Secondly, Metis people are not allowed to buy the land in the hilly areas because this is declared as a scheduled tribe area, so they cannot buy. But the Kukis and Nagas can buy in the plain areas. So this is the basically argument given by the Metis. We are not giving the access to the scheduled tribe status. This is why we are also losing the government jobs And in the Manipur, the larger employment is created by the government only. But the Cookies and Naga says they are anyways getting the reservation in the OBC, in the DEWS, and the scheduled castes. Some of the basically people under the Metis are getting the reservation under this. If they will get the scheduled tribe status, it will reduce the basically area for the Cookies and Nagas. And the other part is if we look at the 60 MLAs, basically here 40 are from the Metis. Again, political representation is not adequate of the Cookies and Nagas already. So, sorry, they have not given a reservation. It has just recommended. I was just coming to this part. Who can decide? There's a scheduled tribe status. Who can change the list of the scheduled tribe? Yes. Obviously, President acts on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. This is not the discretionary power of the President. This High Court has now removed this paragraph from its judgment. Which paragraph? Reservation status to the Metis. It has just recommended that we can consider to give the reservation status to the basically scheduled tribe status to the Metis. But all this led to the conflict between the two. The violence has started. This was the problem, and now it is again coming because once any violence starts, some anti-social elements also takes into the picture. Politicians also sometimes takes into the control of that. But now how it is linked to your syllabus? What are the articles coming? Article 356, President Rule. It should be applied to the Manipur state. Who can apply? President. But for this, we require the approval of the parliament, that two of the both houses within 2 months. It can continue for the 6 months, but it can be again reapproved. But the maximum period can be for 3 years for the president rule. This is what you will read in the polity. Article 356. What is written here? If there is a failure of the constitutional machinery in the state, then the governor of the state can recommend the president to apply the president rule. Now the question for you is, if governor does not say so, can president apply? Yes or no? No, president rule is imposed by president only. But in the article it is written on the report of the governor. Article says on the report of the governor or otherwise. It means even if the governor says no or he does not give the report, still president can apply. Actually, if we look at the basically past, B.R. Ambedkar was of this opinion that this should be the provision. Even if governor says no, then also the president can apply. But yes, within 2 months, it should be approved by the parliament and it can continue for the 6 months. Then it can be reapproved for the more 6 months. But the maximum period for the president rule is 3 years. Then relating to this, there is Article 355. What it says, it is duty of the center to protect the state from the internal disturbance and the external aggression. So again, under the Article 355, that is why the central government is intervening in the Manipur. It has sent the central forces to control the situation of the Manipur. Article 355. Understood? 356? Understood? 355? Article 365. What it says? If the state is not able to follow the direction of the center, then also Article 356 can apply. Clear? Is it clear? 356 President rule. It is linked to the 355 and 365. But President rule is imposed in the Article 356. Now, how it is linked to the mains? GS2. Issues of federalism. What is federalism? Between the center and states. It clearly what says? Union list, union law. State list, state law. But what happens in the President rule? They can dismiss the state legislature. Which laws will prevail? Parliament can decide. Parliament can run the state machinery. It means, don't you think they are intervening in the federalism? So while writing about the issues of federalism, one point can be President rule. Clear? But if they would ask, now how the questions can come in the mains? They can ask about the President rule. Why? Because in the past they have asked about the financial emergency. Article 360. Why it can be asked? Topic issues of federalism. If the question would come on the federalism, there you can give one example. Issues 356 article. But if the question comes on the Manipur, way forward, there you can use the way forward. We can impose Article 356 to control the situation. Maybe in the future we would see such condition. In that also, if they would ask government steps, then you can use the Article 356. But Manipur dispute is clear to you. What it is? Metis, Imphal Valley, they are in the plain region. The High Court judgment, ST status impact, is it clear? And the other region, who are living there? Kukis and the Nagas. And you have understood, if the question comes, reasons of insurgency in the northeast, we have already understood the impact of the border countries and the impact of the less connection with the mainland, impact of the refugees, impact of the organized crime, drug trafficking, arms trafficking and all. So this is how you can write the answer. And way forward would be, obviously we have to secure the borders, border management, that's why it's in your syllabus. We have to also take the linkages of the organized crime with the other things. Controlling the organized crime should be taken. Developing the infrastructure in the northeast. Creating the more integration with the mainland. Developing the basically employment opportunities there. The only solution to every insurgency is, I think, improving the economic condition. If you are able to improve the situation there, then nothing is required as such. Why in Mizoram we are able to control? Because the people there can speak the English and they are getting the employment in the services sector. That's why there is no problem of the insurgency. In Tripura, same. So to improve the conditions, we have to develop the infrastructure. We have to improve the connectivity with the mainland. We have to secure the borders also, so that the China's influence will not be there on the Arunachal Pradesh. So this is what I have to cover about this. Okay, the other part was the minority judgment. I will just briefly mention about this. It was in news. You can read this article. I will come on this in the next class. Aligarh Muslim University has now been given a minority status by the majority judgment. Who are the minorities? Article 30. Read this article, fundamental rights. Okay, which kind of minorities basically taken by the constitution? Religious and linguistic. Only two minorities are considered by your constitution. One is linguistic and the religious one. Why they are allowed to establish their institution. They have given a right and they can administer also. Like they can decide who will be the staff. Like they can decide the reservation also with regard to the minority. The thing is, Article 15 does not apply to it. It means you cannot give the reservation to the SC and ST in the minority institution. That is why AMU was fighting for the minority status. In the past, they have given 50% reservation to the Muslim people. But the thing is, what was the basically earlier there were judgments that okay, what was AMU? Have you heard of MAO? Mohammedan Anglo Oriental College. Actually, it was established by Sayyid Ahmad Khan around 1875, but it was declared as a AMU, Aligarh Muslim University, in 1920 by the Britishers by passing the act. The thing is, the earlier judgment has said Aziz Basha versus Union of India that it is established by law, not by the minority institution. So it should not be taken as a minority institution. But the recent judgment said there is a difference between the establishment and incorporation. This is not relevant as such to your exam. They are not going to ask specifically about the AMU because this would be a controversial question. But they will ask you indirectly. I will show you the question they have already asked in the past, mains question. They have said there is a difference between the incorporation and establishment. 1920, they have not established the institution. They have just incorporated under the act. It was already existing in 1870s by Sayyid Ahmad Khan. It means it does not lead to the laws of the minority status. Clear? Earlier there was a Basha judgment that said it has taken a narrow interpretation of the establishment. Clear? Whether National Commission for the Scheduled Caste can enforce the implementation of the constitutional reservation for the scheduled caste in the religious minority institution? Means, examine 2018. Again, this question has become relevant. Why? Because AMU in the news. What will you write? Can it give the reservation status? Yes or no? Article 30 has to be written here. Clear? Article 30, read it in detail. Minority institution, they have written the right to establish their minority institution. They have right to administer it, but they do not have the right to mal-administer it. Basically, you cannot destroy the institution. This has also remained a judgment. Now, what you can give the reference in the exam, AMU issue, AMU minority status. Either you can introduce, recently AMU has been declared as a minority institution as per the judgment. Just give the relevance in the context has to be given for this question. It means for your exam, for the prelims, what articles are important? Article 15, Article 16, these are anyways important. Article 30. In the prelims, they will ask this. They will not ask whether the AMU is a minority institution or not. But they can ask the conceptual question. In the minority institution, does the reservation applies? You will say yes or no. They will never ask AMU is a minority institution or not. But whenever the topic comes in the news, you have to understand how it is linked to the static portion. Simple question has already been asked. The articles. Article 16. It's linked to what? Public appointment. No person can be discriminated on these points. Article 30. All minorities, whether based on the religion or the language, shall have the fundamental right to establish and administer. See, look the word, establish and administer. Now this in the news, you have to learn the line as well because it may be basically easy for you to explain in the mains. Educational institutions of their twice. Article 31, Article 29. Anyways, you will read about this. So your homework is you will read about the first thermal inversion causes an impact. Then you will read about the schedule 5, 6 difference. Third, article 15, 16 and 30. Okay, only one topic is left and that was the not very much relevant, but I will start from here in the next class. And new development will also come. I hope it will be helpful for you and I hope you will do the homework as well and I hope you will come to the next class. Yes, that's why it's an issue of federalism. But right now, if there is a failure of constitutional machinery, like from 2 years, the dispute or the ethnic clashes are continuing. So we have to take some step because other